Buckle up, friends, and welcome to the Thriving Alcohol-Free Podcast. I'm your host, Deb, otherwise known as Mocktail Mom, a retired wine drinker that finally got sick and tired of spinning on life's broken record called Detox to Retox. Let this podcast be an encouragement to you if alcohol is maybe a form of self-care for you, where you find yourself dragging through the day waiting to pour another glass. I am excited to share with you the fun of discovering new things to drink when you aren't drinking and the joy of waking up each day without a hangover. It is an honor to serve as your sober fun guide, so sit back and relax or keep doing whatever it is you're doing. This show is produced for you with love from the great state of Kentucky. Thanks so much for being here and big time cheers. Okay, hey friends, it's Deb. Welcome back to Thriving Alcohol Free. I am so happy that you are here today, and we have a very special guest today. We have Susan Larkin, the co-host of the Feel Lit Alcohol Free podcast, and her Instagram is Drink Less with Susan. How are you, Susan Larkin?
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I'm great today.
Oh, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. I was on your podcast with you and Ruby.
Right.
And so I think actually our podcasts are all coming out about the same time. So it's been really fun to get to know you guys.
Yeah, we had such fun when we were recording with you. Both Ruby and I were like, that was so fun.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. I just felt like
It
we were just like
was.
new friends, old friends. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you meet somebody, you're just like, I feel like I've like known you. Yeah, it was really, really, it's been so nice to connect with you. So I'm excited for you to share your story with my audience. And I just, can I read your bio? Would that be all right? This is the most challenging part of the podcast for me.
I know.
So my audience knows, and they're very patient with me, that like Deb does not read very well. Like, you know, did you remember in school?
Read aloud.
Read aloud. Oh, this was like the worst. I'd be sitting there as like the girl in front of me, like, okay, if she has to read that paragraph, then I have to read this paragraph. And as she's reading, I'd be reading the next paragraph to practice in my head.
Oh my gosh.
Did you do that? Were you I was a nervous student?
No, I was okay because I was a theater major. Like I was good. I can actually like read a teleprompter and do a pretty good.
Seriously? Oh, okay. I should have you read your own bio. That would probably be even better. Okay, I'm going to read your bio. Okay. Susan Larkin is a certified senior alcohol freedom coach. See, look, we messed it up already. Susan Larkin is a certified senior alcohol freedom coach and a gray area drinking master coach dedicated to empowering women to reclaim their worthiness, gain freedom from alcohol, and transform their lives. With a deep understanding of the challenges women face in managing stress and overwhelm, she knows firsthand the struggles of using alcohol as a coping mechanism and understands the toll it can take on one's physical and emotional well-being. I'll stop there.
Yep, that's fine.
I made it through part
it's
of
like
it.
People send us their bios too, and I'm just like, okay, that's going to take half the podcast to read your bio. So I get it. Yeah,
It's so good to have you. It's so good to have you. And I love that you talk about freedom.
Yes.
Freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. There's such a difference, that idea of liberation versus fixation. And for so long, I was fixated.
Yeah.
That's not free. Yeah.
No, it's like chains. Yeah. Can you share your story of maybe your career of drinking and how you broke your career and how you broke up with alcohol?
I was an expert. No.
Yeah, I was.
But like you, when you shared your story, I didn't drink a lot in my youth or in college. I was a theater major. I was in plays. I didn't drink really. I was in a sorority, and I was a barfer. So if I drank too much, I was the one out, throwing up in the gutter. So it really wasn't until I took a management position at Yale. I worked for Yale University.
Okay.
And I was working full time. And then, I had my kids in elementary school and high school. And all of a sudden, it just became, I call it like the swing oil for when I came home. It was like, get up and have coffee in the morning, go to work, come home. And it was a very stressful job. I was probably not fully qualified for the job at the time. And so there were a lot of really stressful situations where I was managing people, and I just came home, and wine, took that stress away. It seemed to me. Now I know the truth about, what really goes on in your body. But so I knew right away, I'm a Christian, the Holy Spirit just, that small voice of like, you're drinking too much. And I knew what the limits were, 7 drinks a week. I'm like, oh, I'm way over that.
Yep.
And so I would, in my diary, in my journal, 0 for a day. Oh, that was a good day. Or, 1, 2, 3. I would say 1, 2, 3. But those were 3 really big glasses, and those were bad days. And I was bad, it was so black and white, good or bad. And then feeling like, oh gosh, does the Lord want me to give up alcohol? and then not being able to do it. Like, what kind of a Christian am I? If I,
Mm.
like, if I can't give up alcohol for Jesus, and then beating myself up over that,
Yep.
and
Yep.
just constantly feeling bad about myself. But then
Mhm.
we know that keeps you in the cycle of drinking, because when we feel bad about ourselves, what do we want to do to find relief? We
Seriously,
drink.
we drink. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was back in like 2013. And so I went to my pastor and I'm like, "Ugh, I think I'm drinking too much." And they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, well, if you're drinking too much, you need to go to AA." And I was like,
Right.
"What?"
Right. Right. That was
Mm.
the only thing.
That was,
The
and
only thing, right?
yeah, and churches and doctors even now still, that seems like the only solution that people give you. And
Mm.
so I found this meeting and I went, and oh my gosh, I just cried all the way home.
Oh.
I'm
Oh.
surprised I didn't swing by the liquor store, to be honest with you, but I
Oh.
did do AA for 8 months. But I
Okay.
felt, and I was alcohol free, um, or sober.
Sure.
And
Sure.
but I didn't feel free. I felt like
Mm.
there's something wrong with me. I felt like I joined a club I didn't want to belong to. I remember talking to a friend and I'm like, I don't know, I guess I have a disease. She's like, I don't, you don't seem
Mm.
like you have a disease, Susan. You've always had, seem to have it all together. And so honestly, I didn't really buy into the very first step, which was that I'm powerless over alcohol, because I was just like, I don't believe that.
Yep.
And so I went back to moderating. Went to Las Vegas. Most of the times I went back to drinking, it was around some sort of vacation or some sort of trip. And so we were going to Vegas, and I was like, I'm not going to Vegas and not drinking. That's like crazy. And I limited myself to 2 drinks a day, and I stuck to that and came back and went, wow, I think I can moderate. And then I spent the next 6 years
Mm.
trying, being in fixation, though, back to what we were talking about. Everything was about
Okay.
moderating my drinking and keeping that diary, 0 for good days, maybe too many this night, especially too many on Friday. Oh, I failed. I'm terrible. And,
Yeah. Mm.
that shame. And
The
so I am
shame
still under a
cycle.
shame cloud. Yeah.
Shame cycle. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now I'm hiding. First, I'm hiding that I'm drinking. Then I'm hiding that I'm not drinking because I'm going to AA and I want to stay anonymous. And now I'm back to hiding that I'm drinking. I was always hiding. And
Oh.
that
Oh.
just feels bad, right? You don't feel
Totally. You don't
like you
feel
can.
authentic. You don't feel like,
No.
yeah, you're not being true to you're not sharing truly who you are, what you're going
Right.
through, right?
Right. Yeah. So
Mm.
that just feels terrible, to always feel like you're hiding some secret, some
Mhm.
thing that if somebody finds out about you, they're going to know that you're this defective person, that there's something wrong with you. And so I really
Mm.
clung to trying to moderate, because I had that belief that there's 2 camps. Either
Yep.
you're, a normie, or you can moderate your drinking, or you're an alcoholic. And
Yep.
I did not want to be in that camp.
Yep.
I called myself the moderation queen. I threw
Mhm.
everything but the kitchen sink at it, or including the kitchen sink. I mean, I am a very disciplined person. Have achieved a lot of successes in my life, and I threw
Mhm.
and I say this, I've put this in my newsletter. It's so hard because I coach women like me, very, successful women who know how to like put their nose to the grindstone and suit up and show up and do the stuff and,
Mm.
have the goals and
Get it
all
done.
that doesn't help you with your drinking. And it's so frustrating because you're like,
Mm.
all the discipline, all it helps. I mean, it does help you in your
Right.
journey, but it is not the thing. You cannot strong arm, muscle, pound that square peg into a round hole when it comes to your drinking. You have to surrender in a
Mm.
way and let it go. And I guess for me, the turning point was really realizing that there is nothing wrong with me, that alcohol is an addictive substance. It's
Mm.
on a spectrum. Once it was sort of like even
Huh.
being on a map, like you are here. You're on the spectrum with all these other people that drink. You did nothing wrong with you. Alcohol is an addictive substance, really understanding the science around alcohol. Then it was like, okay, now I
Yeah.
can do something about it
Mm.
instead of running away from it and hiding.
Mm. Do you feel
So
like has it changed a lot, the like from 2013 when you first went to AA to like later, like, because it seems like there's more programs now, there's more options, but it used to be like you're either a normie, or
Yeah.
you go to AA. There was nothing,
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
obviously now you're
Oh,
coaching
yeah.
people, so
Yeah, there's so much
they
more
need to come to
now.
you. But yeah, it's great now, right? That
Well,
there's so many
yeah.
more options. Yeah, so you
So
found
many
something
more.
different to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But still people don't get it. Like when I tell my family or my brother or whatever,
Mhm.
they're, we live in this sort of sober verse, like, right? We follow all these people on our Instagram and everything.
True.
And it's wonderful and beautiful. And I love everyone in it. I love you. Like that's where we
Same.
connect, that authenticity.
Yep.
But most of the people aren't aware of that this sober verse, exists. And they are sort of like, that's a little extreme. Wow. Choosing not to drink, making that choice. But I think it's becoming more and more mainstream, so to speak. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, because when I stopped drinking, end of the last day of 2020, like to say, I was so nervous to use the word sober. Like I wouldn't have I would have been like, no, I just wanted to moderate. Like just want to drink normal. Just want to like, just go back to my old ways of have a glass, not have a glass, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. And, in coaching women, I remember talking to a client that was, in a discovery call. And she's like, I just want to go back to like drinking normally, like 3 glasses a night. And I'm like, that's not normal.
Right.
Like we have normalized binge drinking in our society.
That's
like,
true. That's true. Mm-hmm.
And I think other people like Andrew Huberman, Mel Robbins has had several podcast episodes bringing on experts.
Yep.
Daniel Amen, Dr. Amen, talking, going on there and going, why don't I drink? Because I
Great.
like my brain, and
He's
it's so
great.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. He's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you talk a little bit about vacationing alcohol-free? I know you mentioned your trip to Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
So like it's one thing, right? That I feel like a lot of us think like, what am I going to drink when I go to Italy? Or, like when we're thinking about cutting back or not drinking at all, like how do we navigate traveling without drinking?
Yes. So that is a very big point in my story, because every time I went back to drinking, usually when I took breaks, it's because I went on vacation or had some special event. Because in my mindset, I knew I was so much better not drinking in my daily life, but I still wanted to drink on special events, fancy dinners, and vacations. So then fast forward 2019, I was desperate. When I said I moderated from 2014 to 2019, I did okay. I mean, but still binge drink, like on Friday nights or whatever. But then things in my life escalated and I started using alcohol as a coping mechanism again. And then I found myself in spring of 2019, just really like I got to make a change. So I did a 21-day program, and I went 40 days, and then I went on vacation. And I had a lot of rules around that my vacation wine. But again, that fixation, it almost ruined that vacation, honestly. In some ways, so much better. I didn't allow myself to drink in the condo, so to speak. And so no buying of anything. I could only drink if I was out.
Like at a restaurant. Yeah. Okay.
But then we'd go out to these places like in Florida, and they'd have all these like mixed drinks, and they'd have like really crappy wine. And I was like a Sauvignon Blanc drinker. And so then I would get really irritated because like, this is the only time I can drink and they don't have what
you want. Yeah.
And then I would get really irritated. And so it's that fixation, right? Because people who are take it or leave it drinkers just go, oh, well, they don't have,
I'll have a pina colada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're saying that, and it's like taking me down memory lane. I'm like, I remember that when it's like, okay, these are my rules, and now I can't even follow my own rules. Like I wanted to follow the rule, and I want to enjoy it.
Yes.
And you can't. Yeah, you're so mad.
I remember
that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that was, when I became a coach, so that was 2019.
Okay.
I spent all the rest of 2019 taking multiple breaks, doing this program, doing that program, finding different things online, taking a 30-day break, and then thinking, okay, now I'm fixed. Yeah. Now I can go back to drinking. Or I can choose to drink at this special occasion. Oh, I'm in New York going out to dinner. Or, oh, I'm here. And sometimes, I would stick to I'd have a glass of Prosecco and then a glass of wine and stick to that. But sometimes I didn't. And what I found was I would just make up reasons like, oh, it's a special occasion on Tuesday.
Right. There's an episode of This Is On.
Yeah. And then I would tell my husband, meet me at the, local watering hole. and let's have drinks because I was saying I only want to drink when I'm out. And then like on the way home, then I would talk myself, this is what your subconscious, and I would talk myself into, we just went out and spent like $90. We got 2 appetizers and like 3 glasses of wine each. And I could get a bottle for 14 of what my favorite one was. And why am I doing this? This is stupid. And then I'd go back to drinking at home, and then we'd start all over again. That's that vicious cycle. Boy. I don't know if people can relate. I don't know if you can relate.
I totally relate. Like you're literally telling my story. Yeah.
Well, but that's what I found when I finally found some of these online programs. So different from AA, where I was sitting there going, where are the people that just drink a little too much white wine? Like, these are not my people.
Right.
I found my people and was like, oh, me too, me too, me too. And then I didn't feel like, oh, I must be defective. It's like, this is how alcohol works.
Yep.
In gray area drinking. Yep. You can stop, but you don't stay stopped. And because we still value alcohol for something. So the vacations was a big deal for me to conquer, because that was kind of a reason I kept going back to drinking. And so the first thing I created when I became a coach was what I call my vacation boot camp.
I love that. Yeah. Love that.
And I actually have a little mini version of it. It's called Your Amazing Alcohol-Free Social Life. And it's like 5 steps. It's pretty robust resource. It's free on my website. I can give you a link and you can put it in the show notes, because it takes you through just a few exercises that can help you set your mindset for how to truly enjoy a vacation alcohol-free. And honestly, your first one will feel like a 10. Like the first one, truly the first alcohol-free vacation I did was when I was in AA. I don't know why every time I decided to go alcohol-free, it was June, right in the summer. Right?
This is the month. Well, we go in cycles, right?
Yeah. And then I spent another year, trying to, and then, here we are in June again. So it was June. It must have been June 2013. And we went to Virginia Beach. And I remember all of a sudden it was like, okay, I'm not drinking. We get to the resort and I'm like sitting there. It was almost like the wreck, like on a record, like I'm
the screeching.
Scratch. I was sitting there going, wait. I'm not going to drink? Like, what?
How am I going to do this?
How am I going to do this? And I was literally standing over by the waterfall on the phone with my sponsor and like crying. Crying. Like, how am I going to do this? Oh my God. La, 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 la. And I remember being so crabby that we were out to dinner and you get so stressed out. I don't know if you ever felt like this when you were first, going alcohol free, when the waiter would come over and you're like, and I'm like, Diet Coke, right? And at that time there weren't mocktails or anything. And my son, literally, he was probably like 9 years old, was like pushing the drinks placard over towards me, like, "Mom, you need some drinks. You are crabby pants,
Here's the table tent with the specials."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But you know what? Then once I got over it, and I was like, okay, and I got into every morning. I'm waking up and I'm going and I'm sitting and doing my journaling, and I'm tapping into prayer, and I'm on the beach, and I'm getting my beach chair out there before anybody else, because everybody else is hungover and I'm out here walking on the beach. We went for bike rides. Like, it was hard, but I did it, and I could see the value. Like, I truly did enjoy myself. I really did have a beautiful vacation. So then fast forward, taking those, remembering that, and then taking everything I learned from my coach training and also from this book by John Ortberg called Training versus Trying. And it was a Bible study we did early on. Probably I did it in like 2012. And I just remembered this idea of how do you train? You train for things. So this idea of the boot camp was, how are we going to train to go on vacation alcohol free? And like different exercises to like kind of train up our alcohol-free muscles to be prepared. Because like we go on vacation and we just think, it should be stress-free. But of course there's stress during vacations. It's different stress.
Yep.
So, and also preparing our mindset. Like we pack, or say it's a special event, we prepare all the food and the decorations, and we pack and we make sure we have this and that. We pack for our kids. We make sure we have all our floaties. But do we pack our tools, our alcohol-free tools? do we really consider why are we going on this vacation, or who do we want to connect with at this wedding? Like a vacation I went on when I was 1 year alcohol free was to Puerto Vallarta. It was my brother's 50th birthday. And I started getting a little, and my tribe at that time was like, what's your why? What was your why for this vacation? And I was like, oh, yes, I want to connect with my sister. I want to connect with my brother. And so I tapped back into that and went, okay, Carla and I, let's go to the spa. Walker, I wanted to connect with my nephews. It was just got me back in. So one of the things in my workbook is, why are you going to this event? And it's not just about the alcohol. What, and can you really see and make a plan for what do you want to accomplish through this event? And then you stay focused on that, and you focus on the positive and, the tool that we all, I think not everyone knows, but is super helpful and is probably one of the most popular tools, which is play it forward.
I love that. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Yep, play it forward.
Play it
wine.
Forward.
Yeah. How do you want this trip to be? Yeah. What's going to happen? Yeah.
Like really play it forward. And then also, when I put it in my workbook and when I work with clients, I call it play it forward 2X, which is play it forward the first time. Like, what will happen if you drink? You get there and you go, oh, yeah, I can still have one. And it's not going to be one. When was it ever one? You know what I mean?
Usually how many
Never.
times? Yep.
Yeah. And then play it forward. How will you feel if you don't drink? How are you going to feel the next morning? What is available to you? And you're going to feel so good. And also planning some little rewards. Like if you would spend this much money on a drink package, take that money and spend it on the diamond tennis bracelet if you're on a cruise, or the spa. Definitely the spa.
Yeah.
Get a
do
massage.
something.
Yeah. Or just go and, if you're not a spa person, really go to a super fancy Nobu restaurant. You know what I mean? Take that money and that you would have spent on alcohol and really reward yourself. And plan for your tools. The tools that work for you. Epsom salt baths. Bring some bath bombs. After, if everybody's going out and partying afterwards, you go take yourself off and bring a little candle and have a nice Epsom salt bath. Really treat yourself and take care of yourself on the trip. And so those are some of the things in the workbook that's free that people have said really helped them go on their first vacation alcohol free. So
helpful.
So
helpful. Yeah. Tie yourself back to your why.
Yes.
For your vacation and I love like getting your mindset, getting your, getting the toolbox, you're getting everything else ready for the kids, getting the floaties, all that stuff, but like get yourself really ready. Yeah. And why do you want to, what's the purpose of this trip? Connecting.
And plan ahead, like visualize. Visualization is such a powerful tool. And people sometimes go, oh, I can't really visualize. I'm like, oh, yeah, you can. Don't you? We all think about the worst case scenarios. Guess what? That's visualizing.
I never thought about it that way. Seriously, you're exactly right. We all visualize. We all can do it. You're exactly right.
So we usually do it for the negative. So now you want to think about the negative and then see yourself, just like we see ourselves hitting the ball in sports.
Yep.
See yourself walking by the swim up bar or swimming up to the swim up bar and ordering the virgin pina colada. If you're in Mexico, you have to say virgin. They don't understand alcohol.
They don't understand.
Free. I'm like, sans alcohol. Like I'm trying not to say virgin. I'm like,
El Virgino.
Then sometimes I would order a virgin. They go, do you want a shot in that? And I'm like, no.
That's hilarious. No. The answer.
Are you sure? I'm like, yeah.
So funny. That's so funny.
So
okay,
but so at that trip in Puerto Vallarta, I was at the swim up bar. My brother and I are swimming up to the swim up bar, and I just sort of shared that I was, number one, I shared that I'm no longer drinking because it had been COVID. So I stopped drinking June 1st, 2020, and this trip was 2021.
Okay.
And so first of all, I'm sharing that I don't drink anymore. Shock.
Were they? Yeah. What was the response?
And then that I'm a coach. And my brother's like, why the hell would you want to do that?
You work at Yale. What?
Yeah. I was like, what? And so I remember being in the
Mm.
pool with my brother, and we were swimming up to the swim up bar, and where I got my virgin pina colada, and he got a beer. And I said, and this is like my tagline on all my emails and stuff is, I said, it's a lifestyle, not a life sentence.
Oh,
And that's how it felt when I was in AA, like it's a life sentence. Now I'm in this club that I don't really want to belong to. But when you choose to be alcohol free for the health of it,
yep.
it's a wellness decision. It's a lifestyle decision, right?
And not a life sentence.
Yeah.
That feels so much more freeing than like, I mean, I know some people use the word sober, whatever. I mean, I use it now, but I didn't in the beginning. But like, it just doesn't feel heavy. It's just, I'm living a lifestyle. Like, who doesn't want to live a lifestyle of wellness and well-being?
Yeah.
Who's against that, right?
Exactly. And when you tell people that, then what are they going to say? Like
Right.
when we talk, I work with clients and they're like, well, what am I going to tell my friends? And I said, well, I work on this with clients as part of what I do in my coaching is what is your alcohol-free identity? What's your elevator pitch? I say we work on it and practice it. So it just rolls off your tongue. Oh, I stopped drinking because, I just feel so much better. I noticed that it was really exacerbating my anxiety and depression. I just feel so much better not drinking. And like, what are people going to say? Oh, we want you to feel like crap.
Right.
Like when you say that, that's just, what are they going to say?
Yeah.
They just sometimes say, wow, or here's what I usually get. Wow, that's kind of extreme if it's a negative. But most of the time it's like, oh, wow, I probably should cut back too. Or I only drink after 5 p.m. and I only have 2. And I'm like, okay, that's good.
Yeah,
I
great.
don't care.
Great.
Yeah, good for you, So, but I usually don't get, that stops people from going, are you sure? You sure you don't want to have one? Because I've already made it clear. I don't drink. This is why. And I'm really happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And everything's good. And let's, move on. Yep. Now we can, keep going in our conversation or whatever we're doing. Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't tell my whole gory story, right? I don't need to do that with,
I think that's really good. Yeah, we don't have to feel a sense like we have to explain everything, or it's like just have a little elevator pitch.
Yeah.
And keep it easy. And obviously, if you want to tell people more, tell somebody more, great. But you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't owe anybody an explanation of why or what's happened, the whole story.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Okay, so do you work one-on-one with clients? Do you work in group coaching? How's your coaching work?
Well, so right now, I primarily work one-on-one with clients.
Oh, great.
I just love that intimacy.
Yeah.
I am planning on creating some sort of online group program this spring.
Great.
And Ruby and I in the Feel It Alcohol Free podcast have a Feel It 21. So it's a evergreen program where you can, do it on your own. And then we are going to launch it I don't know. We did it for Dry January live with a little group. We'll probably do Dry July, just sort of hit a few times when people might be
sober October or something. Yeah. When people are doing challenges. Yeah, that's really nice. That's nice. Yeah.
But what I find is, I don't know, that intimacy of one-on-one, I can give the client resources specifically for them versus following a set program.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it's hard if you're a super private person to be in a group, speak up. I mean, there is the value of a community where you hear just like you and I telling our story and we're like, me too.
Yeah,
and you're like, my people. But, if you have some deep things, and I had deep things too that I had to work through, and it was really the worthiness. And that's why that's in my bio. It's like, it's, and, the deep reasons why maybe we drink, especially if you've, keep going back to it. And also with Jolene Park, what I trained with her, it's a lot about regulating your nervous system and trying different resources. And so the resources are very specific to you. And so then, you try them. I also am available, I wouldn't say 24/7 because I do.
Sure. But obviously, you have more of a connection with people. They can maybe
WhatsApp
have you on speed dial or whatever for
SOS.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Yeah, that's good to have that availability with your one-on-one clients.
Yeah.
Susan, you are doing amazing work. Really.
Thank you.
We're definitely going to put it in the show notes it's the vacation boot camp. Is that what we'll put in there?
Yeah.
Right?
Or the free workbook.
The free workbook.
So people can just grab the free workbook.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Just to really prepare especially as people are coming into going on spring break. And
Yeah.
we're always going on a trip, right? We're always planning a trip. I am, at least.
I know. I
Something.
want to.
It's nice to have something to look forward to, even if it's just like a weekend away with my sister or something. Like, it's fun to have something to look forward to. So, yes.
I totally
So,
agree. And you know what? Once you get your first vacation in alcohol free, it may seem like a 10 on the scale of hard.
Yep.
The next one is not going to be a 9. The next one's going to be like a 3 or a
You're
4.
right. Yep.
Because you just are like, oh yeah, because actually, because your body experiences, because it's pretty amazing to feel good on vacation. How many times did I come home from vacation and have to take a vacation from my vacation, or we would joke, I need to go to detox after my vacation, because we would drink so much on vacation.
Yep.
And just come home feeling awful.
So true.
So now you come home feeling amazing and recharged and refreshed,
Yep. And it builds momentum because you're like, okay, I did it that time. I went to Mexico with my brother's 50th birthday. I didn't drink. Yeah. And then the next time, I could go away for the weekend, or I can go away on this trip, go to Vegas, right?
Yes.
You can go to Vegas and not drink. It's possible. Yeah.
It
and
is.
especially
I've
now there's so many more options.
You can go to Italy and Paris.
Yeah.
Yes.
And have,
and to the Italy thing, because, people have that in their head.
Yeah.
I realized, because I was saying, what if I ever go to Paris? And I realized, oh my gosh, I did go to Paris when I was 6 months pregnant. So I have gone to Paris and not drank and had a great time.
And it was fine. Right. It was fine. Right.
And we
did life for years without drinking, and it was fine. Right. For whatever reason, we got caught in that. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been to Spain and I've been to Austria now. And you know what? Europe is amazing with the alcohol-free options on their menu. So they almost always have a beer. They also many times have wine. They have mocktails. They are so much more accessible. I think the United States is getting better too.
Yep.
But
they're ahead of us. Yeah, they're ahead of us in that. Yeah. So yes, everybody can plan a trip to Europe. Yes. Plan your travels. Yes. Okay, we'll have that in the show notes. Make sure everybody's following you on Instagram. Drink Less with Susan. Everybody is Susan Larkin's Instagram, and she's the co-host of Feel Lit Alcohol Free with Ruby Williams. And you guys are just a power, a dynamic duo.
So we have so much fun.
Yeah, you guys are just awesome. Just such great energy. So thank you for being my guest. This was so much fun. Love you. Big time cheers to you for tuning in to the Thriving Alcohol-Free podcast. I hope you will take something from today's episode and make one small change that will help you to thrive and have fun in life without alcohol. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social, send up a flare, or leave a rating and a review. I am cheering for you as you discover the world of non-alcoholic drinks and as you journey towards authentic freedom. See you in the next episode.